Let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you worked hard, I mean, genuinely hard, and somehow ended up further behind than when you started? Where you were busy every single day but couldn't actually point to what you accomplished? You're not alone, and the problem isn't you. See, most of us have been sold this story our entire lives. Success requires discipline. Success requires sacrifice. Success means grinding through the hard parts until you finally make it. So we try harder. We push through. We write ambitious to-do lists on Sunday night, feeling motivated and ready to conquer the week. And then Tuesday hits. Life happens. The motivation fades. And by Friday, we're wondering what went wrong again. You know that thing where you write, make a to-do list on your to-do list just so you can immediately cross something off? Yeah, that's not a system. That's a cry for help. The modern productivity ritual looks something like this. Download a new app. Watch the setup tutorial. Customize all the settings until it looks perfect. Use it enthusiastically for 3 days. Forget it exists. See another app recommended online. Repeat. The exhausting truth is this. You've been approaching this completely wrong. Not because you're lazy. Not because you lack discipline. Not because other people have some secret advantage. You don't. But because the fundamental approach, the one everyone teaches, the one you've been trying to make work for years, was never going to work in the first place. So if willpower isn't the answer, what is? Chapter 1. Why willpower was never going to work. I want to explain why everything you've tried has failed. And I promise you, this is going to make a lot of things click into place. Willpower is a resource. It's not a character trait. It's not something you either have or don't have. It's a finite, depletable resource, like a phone battery. Except this battery starts the day at maybe 12%, and there's no charger. Every decision you make, every temptation you resist, every task you force yourself to do drains that battery. Scientists call it decision fatigue. And by the afternoon, most people are making critical life decisions on low power mode, wondering why they can't resist the snack, can't focus on the project, can't seem to do anything right. This is why the just be more disciplined advice is so useless. It's like telling someone who can't swim to just swim better. The advice assumes you have an unlimited supply of something that's actually running out by lunch. Think about how you're running your life right now. Every morning, you wake up and start making decisions from scratch. What should I do first? How should I approach this? When should I exercise? What should I eat? Should I check email now or later? Each tiny decision chips away at your willpower. You're essentially running a sophisticated operation on caveman software. Your brain is a brilliant CEO who insists on personally answering every email, attending every meeting, and also doing the janitorial work. No wonder it's exhausted by 2 p.m. This finally made sense to me. Successful people don't have more willpower than you. They have less need for it. Their environment, their habits, their routines, they've been designed to make good behavior automatic. They're not choosing to be productive every day. They've set up their lives so productivity is the default. This is the shift. Chapter 2. The Systems Revelation. So what's the alternative? What do you do instead of relying on willpower? You build systems. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Systems sound rigid. Systems sound corporate. Systems sound like the opposite of the creative, free-flowing life you actually want. I thought the same thing for years. But I discovered something. Structure creates freedom. It doesn't limit it. A system is just a predefined process that handles something automatically so you don't have to think about it. That's it. Inputs go in, a process happens, outputs come out. You're not making decisions every time. The system handles it. Think about it this way. You don't decide whether to brush your teeth every night. You don't weigh the pros and cons and summon willpower. You just do it because it's automatic. It's a system. Now imagine if everything important in your life worked that way. There's a quote that completely changed how I think about goals. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That hit me hard. Because I had big goals. Everybody has big goals. But I kept falling back to chaos, to reaction mode, to whatever felt urgent instead of what was actually important. I want you to understand this. A goal is a target. A system is the process that gets you there. Goals tell you where you want to go. Systems tell you how you'll actually get there, step by step, day by day, even when you're tired, distracted, or just not feeling it. I call this building your personal operating system. Just like a computer has an operating system running in the background, handling all the basic functions so you can focus on actual work, you need a personal operating system that handles the basics of your life automatically. And no, I'm not going to tell you to wake up at 4 a.m. or take cold showers. I'm going to show you something that actually works for normal humans with normal lives. The first critical piece is this. Chapter 3. Building your second brain. One of the most important things I've learned about productivity, your brain is for having ideas, not storing them. Your brain is like RAM on a computer. It's great for active processing, for thinking, for creating, for solving problems. But it's terrible at storage. Every time you try to remember something important, whether it's a task, an idea, a commitment you made, that thing is taking up mental bandwidth. It's running in the background, draining your cognitive resources. And the worst part? You can't trust it. Your brain will randomly forget important things and randomly remember unimportant things. You'll wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about that email you forgot to send. But you'll completely forget about it again by morning. The solution is what I call building your second brain. One trusted external system where everything gets captured. The rule is simple. If it's not captured, it doesn't exist. Every task, every idea, every note, every commitment goes into your capture system immediately. Your brain's job is to have the idea. The system's job is to remember it. Now the key. One inbox per category, not 17 notebooks, not random notes in 4 different apps, not post-it notes that function as your primary storage system during a hurricane. One place for tasks, one place for notes, one place for ideas. When you capture everything externally, something almost magical happens. Your brain stops trying to remember. The background anxiety that's been running for years, that low-level fear of forgetting something important, it quiets down. You can think clearly because you're not trying to hold everything in your head anymore. Confession time. I've bought more notebooks than I've filled pages. At some point, the notebook collection became the hobby, not the writing. Sound familiar? The fix isn't buying a better notebook. It's committing to one capture system and actually using it. Simple beats sophisticated every time. Now you have a brain you can trust. But capture is just the beginning. Next is making good habits automatic. Chapter 4. The Habit Engine. I want to show you how to install new behaviors without relying on motivation. The most powerful technique is called habit stacking. The idea is simple. You attach new habits to existing ones. Instead of trying to remember to do something new, you anchor it to something you already do automatically. The formula goes like this. After I do my current habit, I will do my new habit. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write in my journal for 2 minutes. After I sit down at my desk, I will identify my 3 most important tasks. After I brush my teeth at night, I will lay out my clothes for tomorrow. See what's happening? You're not relying on motivation or memory. You're using existing automatic behaviors as triggers for new ones. The old habit is the reminder. The new habit just comes along for the ride. The second technique is friction engineering. This is the idea that you can shape your behavior by making good habits easier and bad habits harder. Want to eat healthier? Put healthy food at eye level in the fridge? Want to scroll social media less? Delete the apps from your phone and only access them through a browser. Want to exercise more? Sleep in your workout clothes. We've all done that thing where we spend 45 minutes organizing our productivity app instead of actually being productive. It's like cleaning your gym shoes instead of working out. The friction is in the wrong place. Every behavior has friction. The question is whether that friction is helping you or hurting you. Small changes create massive compound effects over time. My favorite concept, the 2-minute version. When you're building a new habit, scale it down to something that takes 2 minutes or less. Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to putting on your gym shoes. Don't commit to meditating for 30 minutes. Commit to sitting down and taking 3 breaths. This sounds almost too simple to work, but you're not trying to do 2 minutes forever. You're trying to become the kind of person who shows up. Once you've shown up, you'll usually do more. But the showing up is the hard part. And 2 minutes removes that friction entirely. Individual habits are powerful, but the real leverage happens when you design your entire default day. Chapter 5. Designing your default day. A question that changed my approach. What does a normal great day look like for you? Not a perfect day, not a day where everything goes right. Just a normal, solid, great day. What happens when you wake up? What do you do first? When do you do your important work? When do you handle email and messages? How does the day end? Most people have never defined this, so they wake up and start improvising. They react to whatever comes at them. They check their phone first and let other people's priorities hijack their attention before they've even gotten out of bed. You know that thing where you're lying in bed knowing you should get up? Having an internal debate like you're arguing a case before the Supreme Court of self-discipline? That's what happens without a default day. Every single action requires a decision. The alternative, you design your default day in advance. You decide once what a normal great day looks like, and then you follow that script. Start with a morning startup sequence. What happens in the first hour after you wake up? Get specific. Maybe it's wake up, drink water, move for 10 minutes, shower, breakfast, review the day's priorities. Whatever works for you, the point is, you're not deciding in the moment. The decisions are already made. Then design your work blocks. When does deep, focused work happen? When do you handle shallow tasks like email and messages? A principle that transformed my productivity. Protect your best hours for your best work. If you're sharpest in the morning, don't waste that time on email. Email can happen when your brain is tired. The 3 MIT rule helps. MIT stands for Most Important Tasks. Each day, identify 3 things that, if you accomplish them, would make the day a success. Just 3, not 17. These 3 things get your best energy. Finally, design an evening shutdown sequence. How does work officially end? Maybe you review what got done, capture any loose thoughts, set up tomorrow's priorities, and then close your work systems entirely. When shutdown happens, work is done. You can actually rest. The power of this approach is that you're making decisions once instead of constantly. Your daily script becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth, freeing up all that mental energy for things that actually matter. Your daily script is only as good as the fuel that runs it, and most people are running on empty. Join our YouTube membership and get exclusive perks like early access to scripts, input on future topics about productivity, and connect with a like-minded community that gets it. Click join below and let's build your easier, more intentional life together. Chapter 6. The energy system. Something that took me way too long to learn. Energy isn't just one factor among many in your success. Energy is the upstream input that affects everything else. When your energy is high, you're more focused, more creative, more patient, more resilient. When your energy is low, even the best systems in the world won't save you. We're all really good at putting ourselves last. I'll sleep when the project's done. I'll exercise when things calm down. I'll eat better when life isn't so crazy. Spoiler alert, things do not calm down. Life does not get less crazy. And the backwards thing is this: we sacrifice sleep, movement, and nutrition to get more done. But sacrificing those things makes us less effective at everything we do. We're trading our highest leverage inputs for marginal gains in time that we then waste because we're exhausted. The energy system means treating sleep, movement, and nutrition as non-negotiables. Not things you do when you have time. Things that everything else is built around. Start with sleep. This isn't negotiable. Whatever amount you need to function at your best, that's the amount you get. No exceptions. Protect your bedtime like you protect important meetings. Movement is next. You don't need to become a gym person. You just need to move your body regularly. Even a daily walk makes a measurable difference in cognitive function, mood, and energy. Schedule it. Make it automatic. And fuel. The easiest version is to systematize your food choices. Same breakfast every day. A rotation of simple, healthy lunches. You're not making decisions about food constantly. You've decided in advance what you eat and you just follow the system. The concept I want you to take away: make your health the foundation of your operating system, not an afterthought. Everything else runs better when the foundation is solid. You've got the systems. You've got the energy. But what keeps them alive over time? Chapter 7. The weekly review ritual. Systems decay. That's just reality. Without maintenance, even the best systems slowly stop working. You stop using your capture tool. Your habits start slipping. Your default day gets hijacked by new commitments. The solution is a simple ritual I call the weekly review. 1 hour per week that keeps everything else on track. I once spent an entire Sunday planning my perfect week. Monday came, life laughed, and by Tuesday I was back to chaos. The problem wasn't the plan. It was that I never looked at it again. No review, no adjustment. Just a nice plan that gathered dust while I reacted to whatever was urgent. The weekly review looks like this. Set a recurring appointment with yourself. Same time every week. This is non-negotiable. Like a meeting with your most important client. Because your life is that client. During the review, you do a few simple things. First, process your capture system. Go through everything you collected during the week. Tasks, notes, ideas. Decide what needs action, what can wait, what can be deleted. Second, review your calendar for the upcoming week. What's coming? What needs preparation? Are there conflicts? This is when you catch problems before they become emergencies. Third, ask 3 questions. What worked this week? What didn't work? What needs to change? That's it. Simple questions, but they create a feedback loop that makes your system smarter over time. You're not just doing the same thing week after week hoping for different results. You're iterating, improving, adapting. The weekly review is the system that maintains all your other systems. Skip it, and everything slowly falls apart. Do it consistently, and you'll catch problems early. Celebrate wins and keep yourself from drifting back into chaos. The real question: what happens when everything goes wrong? Chapter 8. Failure-proofing your systems. I'll be honest with you, you're going to have bad days. Days when you're exhausted. Days when everything goes wrong. Days when motivation doesn't just fade, it completely disappears. Days when the last thing you want to do is follow some system. Most productivity advice ignores this reality. It assumes you'll always be at your best, always be motivated, always have energy. And when you're not, when you have a bad day, you blame yourself. You think the system failed because you failed. But the truth is this: any system that only works when you're at your best isn't a real system at all. It's just a plan for good days. And good days don't need a plan. The systems that actually work are designed for your worst days, not your best ones. This is where the minimum viable day comes in. It's the absolute smallest version of your routine that you can do no matter what. When you're sick, overwhelmed, barely functioning, what's the bare minimum that keeps you in the game? Maybe it's 1 task completed. Maybe it's 10 minutes of movement. Maybe it's just showing up and doing something, anything rather than nothing. Define this in advance. Write it down, because when you're in the middle of a bad day, you won't have the energy to figure it out. Then there's if-then planning. You anticipate the obstacles and script your responses ahead of time. If I feel too tired to work out, then I'll do a 5-minute walk instead. If I want to skip my morning routine, then I'll do just the first 2 steps. If I feel overwhelmed, then I'll work on one tiny task for 5 minutes. These aren't decisions you make in the moment. They're decisions you made in advance, when you had clarity. When the moment comes, you just follow the script. The rule that saves people from total collapse: slip, don't skip. A bad day doesn't become a bad week unless you let it. Miss 1 workout? Fine, slip. Get back on track tomorrow. Miss 2 workouts? You're starting to skip. Miss a week? Now you're rebuilding from scratch. Slip, don't skip. Whatever happens, show up the next day. Even if yesterday was a disaster. Even if you feel like you've ruined everything, you haven't. You've slipped. Now, get back up. Your internal systems are solid. Now let's look at the space around you. Chapter 9. The environment advantage. Something most people completely overlook. Your environment is never neutral. It's either helping you or hurting you. Right now, wherever you are, there are cues all around you that are shaping your behavior. The things you see, the objects within reach, the layout of your space, they're all nudging you towards certain actions. Phone on your desk? It's nudging you to check it. Healthy snacks visible in the kitchen? They're nudging you to eat them. Guitar in the corner catching your eye? It's nudging you to play. Your environment is like a silent business partner who's influencing every decision you make. And most people have never consciously designed that partnership. How to make your environment work for you instead of against you. First, put your cues where you can see them. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow. Want to journal? Leave the notebook open on your desk. Want to take vitamins? Put them next to your coffee maker. What you see is what you'll do. Make the right things visible. Second, remove friction from good behaviors physically. Want to work out in the morning? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Want to eat healthy? Prep the food in advance so it's the easy option. Make the path to good behavior as smooth as possible. Third, add friction to bad behaviors. This is just as important. Want to stop mindlessly scrolling? Keep your phone in another room. Want to stop watching too much TV? Unplug it and put the remote in a drawer. Want to stop eating junk food? Don't keep it in the house at all. The beautiful thing about environmental design is that it's a one-time investment. You set things up once and they work for you forever. You're not relying on willpower every single day. You've designed the space so the right choice is also the easy choice. Think about this. You can completely transform your behavior without becoming a more disciplined person. You just become a better environment designer. Now let me show you what happens when all of this compounds over time. Chapter 10. The compound effect. What most people don't understand about systems, the benefits are not linear. They're exponential. In the first week, building systems feels like extra work. You're setting things up, learning new habits, adjusting your environment. It's harder than just winging it. In the first month, things start to click. Your capture system is working. Some habits are becoming automatic. You're not making as many decisions. You have a little more energy, a little more clarity. But in the first year, that's when it all comes together. Imagine this. A year from now, you wake up and your morning happens automatically. Good habits stacked on good habits. No internal debates, no willpower battles. You sit down to work and you know exactly what's important. Your second brain has everything you need. Your calendar reflects your real priorities. When hard days come, and they will, you have a minimum viable day ready. You slip, but you don't skip. Your environment is designed to support you. Every surface, every cue, every friction point working in your favor. And the part that surprises people most, it stops feeling like effort. It just becomes who you are. That's the real compound effect. You're not just building productivity. You're building identity. You become someone who has their life together. Not because you're grinding and forcing and white-knuckling through every day, but because you've built infrastructure that makes success automatic. Successful people don't have more willpower than you. They have less need for it. Their systems do the heavy lifting that your brain is trying to do manually. Success was never about being better than other people. It was always about being better than your own worst days. And that's exactly what systems give you. But all of this only matters if you actually start. So let me tell you exactly where to begin. Look, I can give you all the frameworks in the world. But we both know that information without action is just entertainment. And I don't want this to be another video you watch, feel inspired by, and then forget about by tomorrow. So here's exactly what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. Not next week, not when you have more time. Tonight. Step 1. Set up your capture system. Choose one tool. It can be a notes app, a task manager, a paper notebook. I don't care. What matters is that you have one place where everything goes. Spend 30 minutes setting it up. That's it. Start using it immediately. Step 2. Define your minimum viable day. Write down the absolute smallest routine you can do on your worst days. What are the 2 or 3 things that, if you do them, you can call the day a win even when everything else falls apart? Get specific. Step 3. Schedule your first weekly review. Open your calendar right now and block 1 hour next week. Same time every week going forward. This is non-negotiable. It's the ritual that keeps everything else working. That's it. 3 things. You can do all of them tonight. Notice, I'm not asking you to overhaul your entire life. I'm not asking you to become a different person by morning. I'm asking you to take the first step, build the first piece, start the process. Because I know this. A year from now, you're either going to look back and thank yourself for starting today, or you're going to be watching another productivity video hoping this one finally works. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more discipline. You don't need another app or another method or another guru. You need to start building systems tonight. Make today the day you build the systems that build the life. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared. Oh, and there's more. I've just started a Patreon to help support these videos and connect with you more directly. Check out the link in the description if you'd like to join.